Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Modern Super League Week 1. I am one of your hosts, Mason Jordan. I'm going to co-host here, Javier Dominguez. Javier, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just had a crazy game. I don't know. You got to kind of watch it, but it was kind of a slobber knocker.
Yeah, I mean, actually didn't know who was going to win because both players were like, one topic away of just like crushing the game at some point. So it was actually very exciting to see all this one ones actually taking over or losing to creativity. We didn't
Mhm.
know. Also, like we took some time to realize, like, oh, we're on six. It's a good topic, but we're like, well, actually, it's not because of Final Haven. There were a lot of small details going in the game, so it was actually good to watch.
Yeah, it was super sick. I think I chucked it too because I had a moment where I like drew the Ren and I was like, "Oh, that's really good." And I was like, "Oh, it's gonna live through the Bowmaster." And then I was like, "Oh wait, no, it's not. Like it's gonna ping the Bowmaster will ping the Ren." I think if I just waited, the game would have been a lot closer. I think Jim probably would have still got me, but it was really cool and it's so sick too to like have a game like that where it's like, wow, that one small decision cost me so much. That is like what Magic's about when it comes to me personally, and so I loved it. It was a great moment.
No, absolutely. It was good to watch. Yeah, like that.
Mhm.
That's you're right. Like I mean, we actually didn't consider that you could hold the Grand, but actually, good. If you hold the Grand, he has no good master play, so you could bowl the master and then play Grand plus. And yeah,
Mhm.
we have a different game. I mean, we don't know
Mhm.
how it will have played out, but definitely a whole different
Yeah, it would have
scenario.
been a whole lot different and would have been really cool to see. But that's one of the things I love about Magic, like we just mentioned there. So that's super great. Speaking of loving Magic, we just got some more Magic for you. We have Jim Davis versus Young Dingo battling out. We want to throw the decks on screen here. We saw Young Dingo beat Javier here in the Scam versus Hammer in a really wild one. And then we saw Jim play Yawgmoth versus me just a second ago on Creativity. Javier, which of these two decks do you like in the matchup, Scam or Yawgmoth?
Well, I'm gonna go for Scam mostly because was considering Yamath for the PT Barcelona, Porto Barcelona, and I just like played a session where I just lost every single match, and I was like, okay, I'm not liking this matchup. Like everything was good against me. These both Walkers, these Furies. That said, I'm not an expert in the matchup, and I'm sure Jim has a good plan. And since Scam is like the most popular deck in Modern right now, you could even say the best deck. Every player has a plan against it. So sure, Jim has played enough and will probably play way better than I did, but still, I will side with the scam if I had to pick a side in this matchup. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
have to agree. If we pull up Jim's deck list too, he does have one thing going for him, and it's a little bit of a ring a ding. And that one ring might actually be able to help him sort of play a longer, grindier game. Or do you think that it's not enough to actually just beat the onslaught of Dothi, Voidwalker, Fury, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps, as you say, but it's still like not great. And also playing against a scam, sometimes the ring goes against you. Either they scam it with Ball Walker, which is very bad, or they just play the Oracle Masters, which sometimes you cannot answer very well. And suddenly, if you use the ring, you lose all your creatures or whatever. So I think it's good, but I don't think it's enough to actually swing the matchup around.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how it goes there, as I think our players are just about ready, so we're gonna get going there. But before we go down there to that feature match area, make sure to click the follow, support the Modern Super League. It's so cool to have the Super League back, and the best way for it to continue to happen is to have support and show the people that you love it. That way, our sponsors know about it. But with that all out of the way, get a little shilling in there, Javier. Let's go down to the feature match area and see some action. All right, Jim Davis on the bottom of your screen playing Yawgmoth and Young Dingo on the top of your screen playing Rakdos Scam on the play, casting Thoughtseize.
All right.
Javier, what?
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's interesting because usually, I mean, this is the one of the game where we have a curious spot where usually the heuristics in the format is you just play Ragavan first, right? And we see
Mhm,
Jandingo playing Thoughtseize here. That's very interesting. That's probably because of Orchestra Masters, but
mhm.
it's tricky because Jim has two, so now Ragavan is almost dead for the whole game.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Between that and Young Wolf and maybe Swayed Young Dingo, where if he's just playing a Magic Online League or normal tournament, it might just run face first into those sort of cards.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also one thing like Ragavan is known to be bad against Yawgmoth decks like this. So I actually think Jandingo identifies here as Ragavan best use in the matchup is to be pitched to Fury. So that's another reason for it to be stuck in your hand. Like it doesn't matter how the game plays out against Yambo, they always have creatures to throw in the middle. And this way, I
Mhm.
mean, you at least make it count, even though it's gonna be tricky for Jandingo to navigate this game, I think. We're gonna see. I mean, he's trying to draw an Undying Malice so he can just pull the scam with Grief, but if he doesn't draw that, he's just gonna pass turns, and that's obviously not great.
Yeah, and we see Jim here just has 3 Orcish Bowmasters. Now, Young Dingo knows about 2 of those, so we might not going to see anything like Ragavan get played here. But the third one is a lot of Bowmasters.
We'll see. I mean, they are known to be not great against Fury specifically, but he might run into a situation where Fury goes, like killing 1, 1, and 2 or whatever, and then Double Bowmaster can make the army to survive. And if that's the case, that's gonna be annoying for Jandingo here. I think that actually might happen, right? Like Jandingo might now fire the Fury for 2 damage, 1, 1, and just only to see his Fury. I mean, not die, but like just have to be facing a 3/3. Even though maybe that's not a big deal, is it?
Yeah, it's really weird too with the Pendlehaven, where it's like there's so much math going on right now, right? Where it's like, all right, what do you even Fury? Because you can probably only kill one thing. Dingo knows about 1 of Jim's Bowmasters, so he can play around that a little bit. But if you Pendlehaven the Bowmaster and then go or second bow, then the other Bowmaster is going to live, or the army's going to live. So it gets really awkward really fast.
It's like Jim is trying to play around Fury here. But the issue is now if Jim plays double Bowmasters, the life total for Dingo is going to be extremely low. That opens him to lose creatures to Fury, but I'm not sure how many turns can Dingo wait.
Yeah, maybe can wait 1 more turn, but as we saw in my game against Jim last round, if you wait a little too long, the little 1/1s really sort of have this real hold over you, right? And you can't progress forward, and then you can kind of play Yawgmoth out of nowhere. So while Jim doesn't have it currently, it could be setting it up, as we do see the end of turn Bowmaster here.
Yeah, maybe he can just play 1, because if he goes like this, and then Dingo plays Fury might go like 2 damage on the army, and then 1 orc, 1 on orc. So he kills the army and 1 of the orcs, and then that's where the third unexpected orc, might actually win the game. I think that's something Jim might pull here.
Yeah, it's the third orc in your bow that always gets you. It doesn't look like Jim's considering just going in, though, just pushing a ton of damage.
He's putting everything on the table, hoping to draw Yawgmoth, obviously, here, but that's 6 damage. That's putting Jandingo on 5. That's not a lot of that. That's not a lot of life. I think he's not using Pendlehaven though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this might be a spot too where Jim's just like, I don't know if I can actually win. And Jim might also be worried about like an undying effect, right? Where maybe Dingo's sort of holding it over him. We watched the first round against you. Dingo waited on evoking and undying. So it could be a spot where he's trying to, adapt to the way Dingo's been playing the matches so far today.
You see Dingo hovering. I just saw it hovering the mouse, just being like, come on, top deck. That's it. I think that's the equivalent of real life just smashing your deck. Like, come on, one time, good card.
I love it. Yeah, and you see Jim here really committed to pushing damage, activates the Pendlehaven, just rather get the damage now, as Croxa was the draw for Dingo before it disconnected there.
Croxa. Well, the issue is Jandingo cannot present blockers. Like, Ragavan is the only blocker he can present ever. That's very an issue for him.
He's dashing.
He's dashing Ragavan.
It looks to be that way. Trying to get a little something off Jim's deck.
Yeah, trying to get a blocker. I mean, Jim can get Dryer Arbor to block, but he can also just take it, because what's gonna happen? Like, you just take it, take 2. I'm gonna flip like Wall of Roots. I mean, Wall of Roots will actually be annoying, but still like lethal not lethal, I guess.
Yeah, 4th Bowmaster, I think, is the thing that Young Dingo really wants to have happen, be on the top, and just get 2 bodies and shoot down one of these Bowmasters.
Do you think Jim is gonna Dried Arbor? That's very tricky. I mean,
I
no, but what do you think?
I agree. I think I'm also inclined to say no, just because of how we played last turn with the Pendlehaven. We're kind of pushing damage. I think he really wants that 1/1 to be a body, and I think Jim's figuring out right now, like, okay, would Dingo do this if he had an undying effect? Maybe, maybe not. So I think he's trying to weigh out exactly where his opponent's at. It looks like he's fine actually just throwing the Noble under the bus, which is also pretty reasonable.
That's actually the best play, right? Because you still don't let him get free cards because you block, but also you don't expose the Riot Arbor, so you can get the lethal here through Fury. That is a very tight block for Jim Davis, who actually just found lethal, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think this also sets you up to where you beat maybe even Undying Fury, right? Because Enters tapped, you buff it with a Pendlehaven, suddenly, bam, you're actually putting your opponent to 1, and you have a chance to get out of this game.
It's I think it was a very good play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see
And
game 2 very soon. Okay, well, we thought Yawgmoth will, be behind, but one game up. And again, Pendlehaven, I will say, making a difference. Like, it made the difference against you, and it's
mm-hmm.
making a difference here. That's how good the land can be. Like, I'm impressed, honestly.
Yeah, no, Pendlehaven is one of the best utility lands of all time, especially in these decks that just incidentally, get to free roll the 1 copy of it. So it's really cool to see. We're gonna have to see how these players adapt. As Dingo immediately grabs those Ragavans and gets out of his sideboard.
You're out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. Dingo is supporting out Terminate, which I think is worth talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit of an interesting play there to immediately cut Terminate. He still has 2, but clearly kind of values it a little less than I might have guessed. What might be the process going on in his head there, Javier?
Well, the issue here with Terminate is Yawgmoth still will often win the game, even though even if you can kill Yawgmoth, if it has enough small creatures, it will win the game regardless. But at the same time, you also do not want to kill the small creatures with Terminate because they often cost 1 mana. So
Mm-hmm.
it puts the deck in a position where 2 mana for removal spell is actually not as efficient or as good as it might look. So I think it actually makes sense. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sync his deck. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a good call.
Yep. Yeah, and it looks like, Dingo's locked in, and Jim just taking a second here to double check all his work here. Looks like he has brought in not too much from his sideboard. Looks like, he brought in Go for the Throat, Fatal Push, and a Scavenging Ooze. No Endurances.
No, it's most like filler cards-ish in a way, where he just trying to shave some X1 so he has less suckers against Bowmasters, because Bowmasters the police of the format, right? All the X1s die to them.
Yeah.
But I think Jim is not getting much. Like, traditionally, the One Ring will be the card on the sideboard for this matchup, and he already plays it game 1. So he's just pre-boarded against Scam almost, I will say.
Yeah. And, Jim, like he said, prepared for the Pro Tour playing this deck. I believe went 8-2 in Modern with it. And, as you know from being there, that field was full of scam players. So probably does have some pretty good plans right here, and has the very awkward Dryad Arbor as his green source in hand.
Yeah, Dryad Arbor. What Dryad Arbor takes, Dryad Arbor gives. The other way around also, sorry. But yeah.
No, you nailed it.
Yeah. Here we go. Well,
you have nailed it. Dingo kind of high rolled.
Yeah, this is a good hand. I mean, obviously one lander, so you know how those sometimes end, but it is the scam deck is supposed to do this, right? So notably though, if you have 2 Wall of Roots on 0-5, they just block the Grief.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you're seeing all the lines, and that might be what we see Jim here do, especially since he's going to be out of cards in hand really quickly. Just has these Wall of Roots, pretty reasonable just to sit there.
Yeah, well, also, I mean, Jan Mingo really needs to land here to develop. Otherwise, he's gonna. Oh, here he is. Here it is. Okay, that's an important card, I will say. Because Grief alone,
No, go.
No, this Grief alone will not be able to win the game, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice. It gives you a nice swing or whatever, but a lot of incidental trump blockers here from Jim's deck. We jokingly brought up the Wall of Roots. It's like not even that much of a joke. It would have been a problem if Dingo hadn't drawn a land. So we're seeing it sort of come out here. And Dothry Voidwalker is also one of his best 2-drops in the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this game looks like it's going to be fast and good for Dingo. Like, it's turn 1 Scam, turn 2 Voidwalker, turn 3 Fable on the play. We know how this is.
True. White listed, as they say.
That's why this deck is the most played deck in Modern, because these hands are just so good against everything. Which deck is good against this hand? It's just very hard to accomplish.
Yep, I agree.
We'll see.
And we're seeing Jim sort of tanking here. Is there anything that Jim can sort of do to maybe wiggle out of this? What's like his best line to victory?
I don't see any line, I think.
Jim's best line is for us to get the production going, get to dinner on time.
Yeah, just like, I mean, if you're playing a Magical Land League, random Thursday afternoon, just skipping this game, aren't you? Like,
probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he can just go for the orcs, trying to block the token. But still, the problem is that everything is lethal next turn anyway, and he has to load with Ball Walker with Grief. Grief is very powerful
Yeah.
turn 1.
Agreed. And we all are also seeing the this Dauthi Voidwalker just being unblockable is a huge problem.
Yeah, I don't think this game is gonna go any longer here. I don't even know what Dingo is gonna do with the Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
It's pretty
face.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you just go face and you just don't loot with your Fable, and you're like, yeah, you're at 2. Good luck with your Yawgmoth, because the life total actually is pretty relevant against them.
Yeah. I mean, Yawgmoth is a deck that's so it plays a lot of early game creatures, but it's not really prepared to be in the back foot. Like it's a deck that does not block very well, does not take damage very well, because if you're low life total, when you're 5 lives, it's actually hard to combo. You need the whole set of cards to combo, especially in this matchup where he actually sideboarded out the Slowboard Cutthroat because he's trying to play the fair game, which makes sense, but makes comboing even worse. Like here, he's gonna go to 4, which is not enough to. One of the walls is too small for this job.
Yeah. And it looks like we're just going to take the 2 there. And we did see Dingo sacrifice the Dauthi. Maybe there's some card, was an exile that he wants. It could just be his own. But yeah, Jim Davis's Bowmaster's there, and just putting him down to 3 and drawing that Dauthi return does put Jim in check. He's going to have to figure out some way to get out of this, and that doesn't look like it.
Oh, Mystery Forest. Can get the Arbor, that's it.
Yeah. Whew. That was a wild one, as we are going to get a game number 3 here.
Yeah, we might see. We'll see. Some changes for Dingo here. Apparently, he's moving some cards. He was hovering around the Blood Moons. Nope, no changes.
Yeah, it looks
Jim
like
also no changes, I think.
Yeah, it looks like Jim's got his mouse over the submit deck list button, probably pretty ready to go there. I like the double checking there, from both players, just making sure you don't miss anything, right? It'd be an easy way to get an L.
Just in case,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Honestly, it feels like a huge difference between the average person and when you play the Pro Tour, your opponents always just double check those sort of little things, and little things often make the difference.
Yeah, even though I was remember when we played each other, we tried to make mistakes against each other.
Yeah. Yo, chill.
Yeah,
it was a great game.
Yeah, because Mason and I played in the PT for next time, we just exchanged misplays, let's say. It was fun. It was nice to meet you there. We were like 2-2 bracket, right? I think we were 2-2, 2-2.
We were 1 and 2, I believe, because I went paired into you into Paulo Vitor at 1 and 3. And I was like, dang, the Pro Tour is so sick.
Yeah, that's the PT. Yeah, we 1 and 2, and we just we're exchanging mistakes and all around. But it was fun. Like these tournaments are really fun to play. I love them. Like it's such experience. Even when you do, you don't do well or whatever, they're still like.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like the only Pro Tour of the year you didn't top 8. How cringe! Like I don't even know if you should be here.
I didn't top it. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see a mulligan to 6 against a rather slow hand for Dingo. It's still a keep, but this hand, if you look at it, it looks like a whole different deck than the other hand. The other hand was like 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 and this one is like, just chill, hers, bold.
Big vibe hand. Just gonna hang out. Doesn't want to get the feature match over too quickly. Knows he's gonna have to stream when he's done here, so kind of just wants to relax.
He's gonna see. I actually beat you, so now it's your time to take revenge on me next match. We'll see.
Love to see. I know there's a lot going on.
More reactive cards for Dingo. Yeah, this game is probably going to not be fast unless Shieldred we know how powerful Shieldred can be even checked. And I see no card that checks it now.
Yeah, and remember, we side out the Terminate, so like an Evoked Fury doesn't kill this. It's just our 2 push and our 2 Terminate that kind of 1-for-1, quote-unquote, with the Shieldred. So if Jim slams this, he'll be good to go. He might want to choose to play around it, but with his hand, I can't imagine him doing anything else.
You just have to play the class. This is like playing a standard. You play Shieldred, and you're like, survive, survive for a turn. And if it survives, suddenly.
Yeah, this card's not a joke.
Well, Dingo with the Fable and also like former standard, he might need to take a lot of damage here to just loot.
Yeah, and Yawgmoth was the draw for Jim.
Not bad. I mean, it's obviously not great here, but like it's still a Yawgmoth card in the Yawgmoth deck. So
Yeah, I ran the numbers. You are correct.
yeah.
It's actually, I wonder if this unlicensed Hearse is Dingo's way of stopping the Shieldred. You know, it can attack this turn for free, but starting next turn, it might actually get, eaten by the Hearse.
Yes, but life total is gonna be low fast for Dingo. It's
Mhm.
gonna be 12 now. If he loots, which I think he has to loot, right? It's gonna be 8. And 8 is like low. Like
Yeah.
it is not. I mean, we have been there against Shioldo. You're at 8 life, and you're like, I'm at 8, but it feels like being at 1. Like I need to
Yeah.
answer like now.
Mhm. And it looks like Dingo did pick up Dothi for the turn. I'm going to see, I imagine at least one of these lands has to get discarded, if not 2. And yeah, we do see the double discard. So 4 more, Dingo down to 8.
Still no answer to Shieldred.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll see Dingo just maybe put this Grief into play, or if he's going to try and get tricky with some Dothi Voidwalker Bolt action and hope that, Shieldred gets in the red zone.
Well, Voidwalker plus getting to play his Yawgmoth. Like if he was a Fury, it could actually save the day for him because Yawgmoth might be able to deal with not really, right? This low life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Dingo will approach this, but probably not use the bolt. Like he needs to double bolt, maybe Shieldred. Like at this point, looks bad for him.
Yeah, this looks really bad. And luckily for Dingo, he is going to get that Wall of Roots, which if left in hand probably would have been game over. We would have cleared the way and just attacked, but
yes, still
it's not looking good. Oh, Young Wolf! Can I interest you in a lot of cards?
That is an actual good draw, I will say. 7 life. Can we even see an attack here?
I think we do have really close to lethal because you can wolf down the Grief here, reset, draw some cards. They'll crew the Hearse, and then you might be able to, actually get really close to lethal if you have anything to shrink the Hearse so your Shieldred doesn't die in combat. It's just going to all depend on what's on the top of our deck here.
Yeah, well, there's a key point here where Jim Davis might see this board test and be like, okay, Dingo cannot afford to tap the Hearse. So I can just fully play the Wolf, because if he taps the Hearse, then Jim can kill the Grief. He can just sack the Halfling, put a counter and proliferate, and then it will be over. So I think Wolf is very good here because of that reason. Like Hearse supposed to look with it, but nope.
Yeah, almost actually a trick, right? Oh no, I drew my Young Wolf. Please do not activate your Hearse, haha. You're so sexy, haha. And then in reality, you get got.
Yeah, I mean, here, this might even be lethal-ish.
It looks really close if it's not.
Yeah, we'll see. But now, now he can just draw another card to get the counter of Gulf, sacrifice the Halfling, and then we'll draw another card more.
All the cards belong to Jim.
Yes, and also next activation can actually shrink the Hearse. I think Hearse is gonna die maybe here this turn as well.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Especially with Proliferate, it might just be a situation where,
yeah, absolutely.
Falls over.
Okay. That's another Wolf. That's combo. That's
game.
That's good. I mean, not necessarily game, but definitely very good.
Yeah, I think Jim can beat this Bolt, and he'll just, draw 10 cards and gain a bunch of life with Shieldred. I could be mistaken here, but yeah, it looks like Dingo is going to concede. Congratulations to Jim Davis there, going 2-0 in the pod, crushing it.